Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. Today we've got the two main lads back on the show. Roscoe, what's the crack, man?
I'm all good. Great to have Ian, the future Garry, back on the show. Cage Warriors Elite. Ian, how are you doing? You're looking fit and healthy.
What's up, boys? I'm good, yeah, no, good. As I said, I'm enjoying this lockdown as much as I can, and we're slowly out of it now, and we're getting there. But no, I'm great. Looking forward to a bit of normality, slowly resuming. But getting back training good.
And Ian, what's called Team KF have upgraded. There's a new facility that you're now training out of. Tell us a small bit about it.
Yeah, so we've just secured a premises about 5 minutes away from our original spot on Swords Main Street. It's about a 2-minute drive. But we're it's 5,000 square feet. It's going to be 2 floors. It's going to be great. Tom and Chris have done a great job kind of picturing what's going to happen, and we've been in there putting in the labor at the moment over the last week or so, and just trying to get it up and running so we can get back in the gym as fast as possible. And then obviously the July 20th was when we were meant to reopen back, but they pushed it forward. So the opening was meant to be July 20th, but we're trying to make it as fast as we can and get it out there and get it ready to go.
And Ian, what are your building skills like?
I'm an absolute unit with the tools. I just have to do it. I just could not be arsed doing that work. Like we were in the doghouse when we were taking everything off the walls, and we had to strip down the old place and take all the mats and the tarps and bring it over to the new place. And I was just sitting there after about 2 minutes, and I was hissing sweat. And I just looked at one of the lads and went, I'm not able for this. Like, and he was like, you're pissing, bro. And I was like, literally just like a leaky tap. I was like, oh, here. No, there's no way I could do that. But if I want to work, I can work. A lot of the time, I'll just...
So you're just doing it for the gram, were you? It was like, oh, quick, get a picture of me with the drill. You're like those people, the rioters after in LA. It was like pulling up in your car, being like, sorry, sir, do you mind if I borrow that drill? Doing it for the gram, and then back in the car.
Yeah, I seen that movie. No, like if I'm there to work, I'll work harder. But like I have to know that everyone's going to. All right, let's not get into it. And
come here, is the parking facility better there at the new place? Because like obviously parking was always an issue at Main
100%.
Street. Yeah.
100%, man. The amount of money I used to spend on parking was ridiculous. Like, because we used to go in, and there was a little spot just up the Main Street that no one really knew about, and it was €2 an hour. So that was the easiest. If you parked in pavilions, it was free for 2 hours, but like just the stress of getting into the pavilions, leaving the pavilions, then having to go in and out through it. So this is just, there's a load of parking on site, and it's going to be a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, so you can pull up just a few minutes beforehand as well.
But, 12 minutes past. I'm always about 10 minutes late.
Yeah, for people that haven't actually tuned in before for one of our breakdowns, Ian's been here for the last 2. And so far, Ian won the fight picks at UFC 249. Ross won the fight picks for UFC 250. But today has to be my day. But Ian, you haven't been here since UFC 250, and we saw, like, for people that don't know, we have a full interview with Ian. We'll put at the end of the show about everything about how Ian started off in MMA. But Ian obviously fights in Cage Warriors, and Graham Boylan announced that Cage Warriors are planning to come back in September. Is there any update with that for yourself? Because we're looking forward to seeing you back in the ring or octagon, whatever you want to call it.
No, so there's been no. So I know he's out looking to secure a venue, and then once that kind of materializes itself and it's secured, I'd imagine he'll start actually contacting us about matchups.
Yeah.
There has been a couple of texts back and forth between Chris and Ian Dean about just possibilities going forward. I'd imagine that they're just trying to secure the next fights and just give themselves something to do at the moment. And, well, maybe Ian could fight such and such, and he could fight him, or he could fight him. Would these be okay with you? These aren't fight options. These aren't by no way like offers. We're just throwing these names out there and seeing how you feel about them. I never get a bloody choice in any of this anyway. It's all it literally. Chris will send me a text and go, "You've got to fight." And I'm like, "Right, against who?" He's like, "Never mind, I'll talk to Ned." I'm like, "Just tell me, like, really, I don't care." find who I'm fighting, just tell me. But like he'd like if they were like to me, oh Ian, you're like Chris, does Ian want to fight for the title? Like Chris would be like, yeah, sweet, and he just won't tell me like until the next day. He's mad, but that's the way it should be done. I don't know who I fight. I don't get a choice. He's my coach. He chooses them. If he doesn't feel it's right, he doesn't feel it's right. That's up to him. I have 100% trust in him, and I'm not gonna argue them. Like, come here. We all know I'd like to fight for like the title now, but we all know Cage Warriors aren't gonna do that. We all know, like, the way they work is they like to build fighters up, give them the tests they need to get them to where they need to be, and like they know I can reach a level that most fighters won't. Like I can talk a load of shite. I'm good looking and I can fight good. That's 3 things that you need. Do you know what I mean? So I think they'll take their time with me and work it up and kind of. I think they might milk it a bit as opposed to kind of just chuck me in and get rid of me. But no updates really from anything. But I'm looking forward to it and hoping that it is secured. And we can probably. I wouldn't mind getting at least 2 fights in the end of this year. If they can get September done, there's nothing stopping them getting October, November, and December done. And I think they will do all 4 months. Even if they done exactly what they're doing now, they secure one venue and they do 2 or 3 nights in a row, 4 times. It'll be a lot less stress for the workers, everyone in the organization of Cage Warriors. It'll be a lot easier for all of us because we're all just going to one place. We know where it's going to be. I think it's a good idea, but look, nobody knows what's going to happen, so we'll just see how it goes and enjoy it.
Yeah. And do you have a preference on who you actually get in there across the cage from?
I couldn't care less. Once they have a winning record and their record is better than mine, that's all I want.
Yeah. Ian, do you also have any idea where it could be on? Because I saw Graham said it would be on 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be in England?
Oh no, I'm more or less 100% confidence it will be in probably London because I know a lot of the staff are from London. So it wouldn't make sense for them to travel abroad to go home and have to quarantine for 2 weeks. Whereas if they just simply put a show on in London, none of the staff have to quarantine, and it'll just be a fighter's choice then to fly over and then come home and self-isolate for the 2 weeks, which makes the most sense. And look, come here. If they told me I'd have to sit in my bed for a month and do nothing after I got a fight, I'd do it. It'd be worth it. But I don't know what. I don't think
your ma would be too happy with that.
I don't. Come here, look. I basically anyway, so I don't really care. But I think, like I was saying, me and my dad were having this conversation. I think the BT Sports Studio is a great show because it's a small venue. They've been there before. They know the setup. It's easily done. It looks great on TV, and that means BT are gonna want sports to broadcast with all this. So look, I haven't a clue, but that's where I was thinking of if they wanted to do it, because obviously I fought there in September and it was a great venue. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Ross.
I'm looking forward to it anyway and finding out what's up.
Sorry, Ross. That wouldn't be a bad show over in the BT Sports Studio.
No, I actually like it there. The only thing was it not really, really hot in the studio, and a few people gave out that it was too hot in the studio when they were fighting. I think Paddy Pimblett said that when he fought Julian Erosa. That was like the heat was like something else in there.
Wasn't hot when I was there. It was actually
man's not hot.
No, it wasn't. It was actually lovely. It was. Because when I fought there, it was quite quiet. Like even when I was like banging my foot on the canvas to try and make a little feint, like
you switching music.
Like I could hear like people like with their bottles like on everything on the. It was mad. Like it was really quiet. Like, but that like slam of the foot was the only thing I could hear. Whereas normally you just hear screaming. Like in Cork, I tried to drown out everyone's voices except Chris's, which is always the way it goes because it's what I'm used to. But I could just hear everyone screaming shots once Chris said shots, and I was like, "Shut up! Just let me do what I do." And Chris is there screaming, everyone's like, "Shots!" So it'd be nice to have. I'm looking forward to fighting with. assuming it's going to be no crowd. So
yeah, but maybe there was a heat issue the first time out, and they fixed it for the second time round.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with the BT Sports when I was there.
Well, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, Ross, I think we're going to have to apply for media credentials for that.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that'd be sick, especially for the weekend. 100%.
Yeah. 3 days.
Well, like in fairness, if worst comes to worst, like I could be Ian's Mike Perry, or Ian could be my Mike Perry, and I could sit in his corner.
My favorite after that video that's just gone around. No one's allowed to say my Perry anymore.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because he beat up the old fella.
Yeah.
I seen the video. I turned it off. I don't even want.
You know what? I actually didn't click on it. I was like, oh, I'm just not arse watching it.
It's people like that and just stupid things like that that give this sport bad publicity, and it wrecks my head, and I don't like seeing it. But like, then you look at someone like Alexander Volkanovski, and he's talking about writing a children's book. Do you know what I mean? Two completely ends of the stick. Like, he's saying he want, like, not all people in this sport are bad, and people that are good at they're good role models, good life inspirations for young kids growing up. And like a lot of people who do fight, and we've talked about this before, have had issues with bullying, or have had issues with a tough kind of childhood growing up, and it's made them tougher. So it just ruins kind of a lot of the I don't know what the right word is. It just ruins the sport a little bit. Puts it.
Yeah, but you can't blanket a whole entire sport just based on what one person does, or else you'd say Adam Johnson, who used to play for Sunderland with football, being a paedophile. But
that song ever though, you know, the chant about him.
No, I just don't know.
Sunderland came up against some
Newcastle, I'd say. Because Newcastle hates Sunderland. I'd say it was Newcastle because they hate them.
They came up with a great song. I don't know. I don't think I should say it on this, but I'll say it to you afterwards. It is hilarious.
I'm sure you can YouTube it. I'm sure anyone who's listening now can find out the song.
Go watch it. Go listen to it. Look up the Adam Johnson chant. It is hilarious.
Just want to add in, if Ross wants to pull off the Mike Perry girlfriend situation, so basically be in your corner, I'll have to do it as well, but only if you give us some of them brand new IG jumpers.
I'll get them sorted. Alright, you're looking after me, so I'll get them sorted. I think I need to see. I like the purple design.
Show it a bit more to the camera for people who can't see it. Sorry for the people on audio, but subscribe to YouTube.
Yeah, this is unreal.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
One of my sponsors, Riley, makes them for me, and they're lovely and they fit well. And I'm getting polos made up and just normal t-shirts made up. But
for the golfing career.
That's just something new for the crack. That's just more to see my mates more than anything, because I don't get to see them when I'm in the fight camp. So I just thought, if I was saying a Thursday morning, you've been training hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you get to Thursday and you're wrecked, and you're going, I don't want to train later on tonight. So I get down and do my hard session in the morning, and then I go, right, I'm going to play golf with the lads. I'm going to relax for the rest of the day. So, and I can get to catch up with them and see how things are. Otherwise, I just end up being a loner for 8 weeks and keep my head down and doing what I do.
That's actually a brilliant idea, Ian, doing that, taking that up, just so you don't have to totally lock yourself away. At least you can be doing something productive.
I literally go off the map, like, when I fight. Like, and my mates all understand that, and I love that about them. They all get what I do. Like, if I have a fight and say it's 8 weeks out, no drinking, no partying, I might go out for an hour or two to someone's birthday, or everyone might be out in Gibney's or something, and I'll show up for an hour. I won't drink, and then I'll drive home and I'll be like, right, get me to bed. I've got training in the morning. They all understand that.
Yeah, but like, your real mates support you, and like that's what your real mates support you, and they support what you do. You know what I mean? Like, they want to see you succeed. So if that's what it takes to succeed, that's what they want to see you do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you'd almost like to hope that they'd give out to you if you were acting up and you were sort of going off course.
No, so like, it was actually quite funny. So like, the last time I was out for it, I was like, no, I'm not drinking. And a couple of the girls were like, would you stop being a dry shot and just drink? Like, what's a couple of pints going to do to you? And then my mates are like, shut the fuck up. Like, if he says he's not drinking, he's not drinking. I was like, he's in fight camp. And I'm like, yes, that's it, lads. Go on, you.
Yeah, go on, the lads.
What lads today?
They all understand that. And anyone who knows that, like, all my mates understand that I put everything into this sport, and if I'm not drinking, it's for a reason. And like they are like, if I was to go out on a normal night and I wanted to drink, they'd know that I'm doing it because I've earned it or I want to, and I can afford to do it. It's not just because I'm trying to be boring and I don't want to drink. I just don't like.
Yeah.
Like I've drank 3 times this year, and I don't really. I'm not mad about it. Like,
give those lads a shout out. Who are those lads?
Yeah.
They'd just be my best mates. So like, there's a big group of them that like the G-Man, the G-Man's Club. That's what we call them. we've had that name since.
Is that like a game? Is that a gaming team? Is it? Does it you play games?
No, just no. That's the Daddy Clan.
Okay.
The Daddy Clan.
Ross going to be in there now.
My name on Call of Duty is Daddy Cool. So anytime I win, all I hear is Daddy Cool coming out of my Daddy.
That's me, man.
It's Daddy. Yeah, you're
Daddy. That was
Daddy
actually class. Yeah, I'm Daddy Cool now.
Yeah, so we know it's Daddy, and then like I'm definitely not saying my mates' names on this, but definitely not. If you ever see my Instagram stories, you'll know what they're like. But I'm not saying them on a podcast for you doesn't get you in trouble.
Yeah, Oban Elliott knows he's your best mate. But
Oban Elliott's a little softy, don't worry.
No, but Ian, just to say something else on top of that, like you're totally right, being totally focused. Like I know I don't need to tell you that, but even like the last couple of years, like I was like going out drinking loads and just hacking the bollocks. But then since quarantine, like myself and Ross just got back into training, and then like
look at those biceps.
mentally everything is just way better. You know what I mean? When you have when you feel like you know where you're on track. You know what I mean? If you're off track, for anyone listening now, if you're ever off the track, just like reassess things and get back on track, because there's a Monday every week.
Yeah, that's not just to do with fighting. That's anything in life.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I'm just clarifying it. Like it doesn't have to be fighting. It doesn't have to be anything to do with like sports. It literally just has to be your life. Go out and find what you enjoy doing. If you want to put your time into it, then do. If you don't. Like one of my mates I was saying to the other day is kind of in a bit of weird position. He wants to train. He doesn't want to train. He hasn't showed up. So I sent him a text like, look, I was like, there's always a time for partying. I was like, but if you want to fight, you want to do this, then do it. I was like, you're the only one stopping yourself. If you want to go party, go party. I was like, but like, it's your life. Make your own decisions. And as much as I'd like to see said person succeed, it's not my job to make them want to do something. It's if you don't want to do something, I'm not going to convince you. You have to want it. And it's just, if you find, and you've got to be lucky as well. Like you hear a lot of people finding like when they're going looking for jobs, or they're starting college and they throw themselves into a course they don't like doing, and then they just finish it to get a degree, and they're like, well, that was a waste of 4 years. I don't even fucking need. I'm going to go work in retail now and go work in River Island. Like when they're sitting there with like an engineer's degree or something like that, and you go, what are you doing? What's the point in that? But you've just got to be lucky as well to find what you like doing and what's worth your time early on. And I'm just very, very lucky. I found something that I'm good at and I want to spend all my time doing from an early age.
Yeah. Ross, anything else to say about that before we start kicking off this weekend's crack?
No, man, that was absolute beautiful sentiment from the future. So, keep your head down, get the hard work done, and your future could be as bright as Ian Garry's in whatever you choose to do.
Exactly. I like that. That's good.
Okay. That was, lads, Ian, thanks again for coming on the show. If you are new to the show, make sure to subscribe, because we're about to get into the crack. Lads,
and don't forget to get over to Ian's socials and follow him on that, because he's an absolute legend.
Yeah, don't worry. Like I already said, I was going to put the video at the very end to watch his whole life story. You know,
man, you have to give him the treble plug.
Oh man, we all know everyone's here for Ian. It's not to see us two wearing matching t-shirts. But but okay, lads, UFC 251's on this weekend. It's been like a running theme now for the last couple of months. For the pay-per-views, Ian jumps on. This is good crack for everyone. I think everyone really enjoys this. A couple of lads have messaged me, been like I'm really enjoying it. Shout out Jerry Maguire. But UFC 251 is this weekend. Originally, it was meant to be headlined by Gilbert Burns against Kamaru Usman. I watched an interview with Ben Askren, and he was like, no one really gave a shit about that. In the last week, Jorge Masvidal's had to jump in. He's taking on Kamaru Usman. Ian, I'm going to ask Ian first, Ross, right? How much more excited are you for Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman compared to Gilbert Burns versus Kamaru Usman?
I don't think you're going to like my answer.
Okay, because we're all here to hear it.
I'm not that much more excited. I'll tell you why.
Go on.
So, Gilbert Burns has been on fire lately, right? We all know that. Everyone knows. If you don't know who Gilbert Burns is at this stage, well, then we're not getting into it. But he's been on a roll. I think he's on like a 6-fight win streak. He's finishing everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, he dominated Tyron Woodley in his last fight, more so than Usman did. Like, even going out, knocking Damian Maia out. Like, he's just shown, and he's an elite level grappler, like world class. And he does not give a rat's what happens on the feet, because he goes in there swinging. It's either going to be a choice of where you get sloppy and you go for a takedown, and good luck taking him down, because he wants to be on his back. He wants to be on the ground. He wants to be involved in grappling. And yeah, I was just really excited to see him, because he's clearly the hungry fighter. He wants to be the champion. And then, like, no disrespect to Masvidal, like what he's done in the resurrection, as he calls it, has been like amazing. But he just beat Nate Diaz. He's not, like, how that warrants a title shot is beyond me, because there's so many good fighters in the top 10 at welterweight that all batter Nate Diaz. And obviously he beat Darren Till as well, but I mean, look, it was a great knockout, but like, one shot can finish a fight in any fight, so you can't take it away from him. But like, I don't know. I really don't know. To be honest, I was more excited to see the fight between Usman and Burns, purely from a martial arts point of view. I think it was going to be better exchanges. Usman put such a high pace on. Gilbert Burns comes out and is just relentless. He doesn't care where the fight goes, because he has power in his hands. He swings bombs. You have to cover up. If you cover up, he's going to take you down, and he's going to get you on the ground. If he gets in the ground, there's not many people that are better than him there. And yeah, I thought that was a more complete fight, whereas this one's more for the fans. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just not as excited as I would have been for the martial arts point of view of Burns and Usman. But it's still a great fight, and it's still going to be a brawl, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, for the fans, they're happier. But for the,
of course, he's a bigger name.
Yeah, and then like for the actual martial artists that enjoy watching fighting, they probably like this story more. But Ross, what's your thoughts on it?
Here's where you're wrong, Ian, right? Jorge Masvidal is by far and means the number one contender for this belt, and he has been for a while.
No, he's not.
He is, man.
Leon Edwards is. He's not leaving the country.
Nah, we've had Leon on the show. Lovely fella. But you know what I mean, you have to call your shot. And this man has been calling the shot. And he's been calling all the shots recently. And Jorge Masvidal at the moment is a man who gets what he wants. He went to England and he knocked out Darren Till in his backyard. And that whole card was built around Darren Till, and it was Darren Till's going to win, and then he's going to be next in line for a title shot, right?
I agree, yeah.
And then he went out. Then he went out and did his best Karolina Kowalkiewicz impression, and then knocked out Ben Askren in 5 seconds flat, the fastest knockout in UFC history.
Right.
And then he went in there and took out Nate Diaz. And the only other person who's actually took out Nate Diaz is Josh Thompson. He's a hard man to put away. Jorge Masvidal put him away. 3 stoppage finishes in a row. BMF belt. The Rock's in his corner. Jorge Masvidal is your number one contender for the UFC welterweight title. It's not only the fight that fans want to see, it's the fight that makes the most sense. And Jorge Masvidal, I think, is going to be an absolute dog in this fight.
How many wins has Jorge Masvidal got in a row?
3 wins in a row.
All right. How many has Leon Edwards got?
8 wins in a row.
How many has Gilbert Burns got?
6 wins in a row.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's not always the win. It's not always the win. It's the quality of the win and the style of the win.
Or
Okay,
who's watching the win as well?
Bar Darren Till, who's he beating the top 5? Ben Askren came in and got. Now this is no respect to Ben Askren. He's right. Got annihilated by everyone he fought. Right. Robbie Lawler.
Well, no, he got Robbie Lawler. He did a good job.
Oh shit! That was pure luck, right? He was getting humped, and Robbie Lawler was about to kill him. And look, whatever it ended up getting his way, I'm not arguing that, right? Then you get Masvidal is going up. Sorry, I've lost train of thought because I'm getting a bit annoyed here. It wrecks my head. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Masvidal. I just don't think he's earned a shot. And I think because of he's had the quick finish against Darren Till, because he's had the quick finish against Ben Askren, because then he went out and fought and Nick Diaz. Everyone knows Nick Diaz because he fought Conor, and he's, fuck you, I'm a gangster, I smoke weed, I do this, I don't care what the UFC says. You know what I mean? Like,
Street Jesus, man.
People like that. And I understand it because he's an entertainer, but you can't sit there and honestly believe that Jorge Masvidal deserves this title shot more than Leon Edwards or Gilbert Burns, because they both fought better opponents. They both have a better record at the moment, and they're on a better win streak. But because this guy is the cash cow, and at the moment he's the big star in the UFC, he's one of the big stars in the UFC, he just skips the queue. It's people like him that wreck my head.
As my boy Max Holloway, my best mate after Basmo, says, it is what it is, my friend. It is what it is. The people decide who gets the shot, and Jorge Masvidal is number 1 on the people's list. In fairness, they tried to make the Masvidal fight before Burns was even getting the title shot, and Masvidal's like, I'm not signing for that. I know my worth. Masvidal's after going out and getting his worth, and you have to respect that.
Did he get his worth?
Yeah. He did.
I haven't looked into that. I don't know what the crack is. I would have imagined that he just probably took it because the opportunity was there to be taken.
No, he's getting better money than he did for the Nate Diaz fight.
Yeah, no, he is getting paid more. He is definitely.
Well, I'd imagine he's probably getting more pay-per-view, is he?
Yeah, I think he's getting more guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like no one's sort of got him out there.
The loss is a loss. It doesn't matter how a loss is lost. It's a loss. If I lose, doesn't matter if it's split decision, if I get knocked out, if I make a mistake and get subbed, I've lost.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying he's always a live dog in a fight. You know what I mean?
He's an absolute monster.
And also he's got more UFC fights than anyone ever on their first ever challenge for a UFC title.
Yes, I've seen that, but I don't know. It's a mad one. I think that's just more the fighter in me wanting the number 1 contenders and the people who actually deserve the shot, as opposed to the like Conor was quite the same. I mean, he skipped a lot of people and got the fast track. And look, if you're a star, you get that treatment. And if I was in Masvidal's position, I wouldn't be complaining. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Fairness, I actually think all 3 of them deserve the shot.
Yeah.
All 3 of them have a very valid case to why they're the number 1 contender. And you know what? I actually feel bad for Gilbert Burns, because I think Gilbert Burns, if Jorge Masvidal wins, he's moving down that pecking order. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Leon Edwards is probably up there, Colby Covington's up there, and Gilbert Burns is probably down here, because that fight doesn't sell. Burns versus Masvidal. The only reason the Burns-Usman fight had something to it is because they were teammates, and that made it more interesting.
Yeah. No, look, this is what the whole card's about, isn't it? Get people talking about it and have this whole kind of conversation. So they're doing the right job.
Exactly. Yeah, lads, how many pay-per-views do you think it would have sold if it was what it was originally meant to be, Gilbert Burns versus Usman, compared to what it is now, Masvidal?
I think you're looking at about 400 to 450 pay-per-view boys with Usman versus Burns with 3 title fights on it. Also because there's still not a lot of live sports on. But now I think you're looking at somewhere between 750 and 800,000 pay-per-view boys.
So double, basically.
Not far off, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I'd agree with that. Masvidal's a much bigger name. Burns isn't as well known. I'd imagine it would have probably done about 500,000 buys with the Burns card, and then with Masvidal, I'd imagine it would probably do 750,000 to 1 million, depending on. I think this will be a big card. Like, I think you've got Max Holloway. Everyone loves Max Holloway. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be honest, he's probably the biggest name on the card. Like,
in fairness, the deck is fairly stacked for him.
He's the most well known out of that whole card. Him and Jose Aldo probably. But just everyone knows Jose Aldo. That's the guy that got knocked out by Conor, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Who the fuck is that guy?
That's your man who blew his load after 13 seconds.
I know that's Jeremy Stevens.
Think about that. That's I love that. I love when people say that though, because that is literally Jeremy Stevens has had 34, 35 fights in the UFC. And he's had a lot. Like, and he insane amount. I didn't notice it until we watched him fight Kelvin Cater. And he was like, this is Jeremy Stevens, 30. I was like, how many fights did he have in the UFC? Yeah. And his most famous thing is being a meme from Conor. Who the fuck is that guy? That's his highlight of his career. Like, that's what he's most famous for.
What's Ben Askren's?
Getting absolutely smashed in the face with a knee.
By the #1 contender for the UFC welterweight championship.
Right, lads, we're going to have to get into this card because we do have a good bit to speak about, right? First of all, I'm actually buzzing for this card. As I said earlier, if you are new to the show, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and let us know who you're backing this weekend because things are about to really kick off. We're going to just start quickly in the early prelims because we've run through the card before the show just so we keep things moving along nicely. It is being headlined by Marcin Tybura versus Maxim Grishin. Ross, is there anything else to say about the early prelims?
No, I think Davey Grant's back. I don't think he's been fighting for a very long time on the early prelims as well. So good to see Davey Grant back. But Marcin Tybura, he had a very bad 2019. He got knocked out twice. And he's fighting this new Russian cat who's moving up from light heavyweight. That seems to be the new thing these days, moving up from light heavyweight. And so far the heavyweights have been getting the better of them. So I'm going to go for Marcin Tybura here. He'll probably win a decision. He loves winning the L decisions in the UFC, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you. I'd probably say the same thing and by decision. I mean, I haven't really looked into the early prelims too much purely for the fact that the rest of the card is so stacked that I was like, all right, I'm not. If it was me, I'd enjoy my sleep and I'd get up with after the early prelims once the ESPN kicks in, and that's when I'll be joining in for me.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's what a lot of us are going to be doing. Like, if someone's really going to be like, you got Rowland Paeva wrong versus Zagalas Zagmurlov, then that person needs to be.
It'd be different if there was. It'd be different if there was a Europe, like if there was a big European guy from Cage Wars or something. Like, I was texting Jack Shore during the week. If he was on the first fight of the prelims, I'd be there and happy because I think like there's a lot of young fighters in there that people don't know about, and they're always on the early prelims and stuff like that. That sometimes they're some of the best fights of the night, but just because the rest of the card is so stacked, I'll be joining it. I'll join in after that.
Yeah, these guys are going to. This fight is going to be kicking off around 5 a.m. in Abu Dhabi as well. So that's going to be
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy for some of these lads. I'm going to move into the prelims.
I couldn't do that. Not a hope.
Well, if you're
you'll be on the main card, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be 7 a.m. Then lads, we're going to move into the prelims, right? Volkan Ozdemir is headlining against Yuri Prochazka. But it's
Bruce Buffer's job is safe for the moment.
Yeah, it is. Michael Buffer's isn't. But the cards, this one's being kicked off by Leonardo Santos versus Roman Bogatov in the lightweight division. Ross, you're saying Leonardo is a young spring chicken waiting to hatch?
You know what? Leonardo dos Santos is actually undefeated in the UFC. He's got 6 wins and 1 draw. So, like, Ian probably thinks he should fight for the title next. Bogatov is actually undefeated. He's 10-0. Bogatov wants to get this on the ground. Dos Santos probably wants to keep it on the feet. He knocked out Kevin Lee on the feet before. He probably was the original person to make the chicken dance. But Dos Santos is 40 and he's fought I think those 6 times I've gone back the whole way to 2014. So he only fights once a year on average. So and he always wins. So I'm going to go for Dos Santos to get the job done here.
Ross is going for the 40-year-old Leonardo Santos. Ian, what about yourself?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I mean, I agree with you. I understand what you're saying. He picks his fights well, and I mean, if it goes to ground, he's going to want to scramble back up ASAP. I don't think he wants to be involved with that. But I'd probably go with him as well by a maybe a split decision. Maybe. I think it's going to be close.
But a win's a win.
Win's a win. Yeah, I don't care how I win. If I win, I win, and that's it. If it doesn't matter. If you want to run it back because it was controversial, that's fine with me. But I won. That's it. That's all I care about.
Lads, I'll agree with you because I want to start off not feeling left out. Makwan Amirkhani is taking on Danny Henry in the featherweight division. Makwan does actually train with SPG Ireland, but it doesn't seem like John Kavanagh is gone over to Abu Dhabi. And then Europe's on Danny Henry. He's taking on. Ross, do you want to kick off this?
Yeah, Makwan lost his last fight by TKO to Shane Burgos. Shane Burgos then went on to have that absolute scrap of a war with Josh Emmett. Makwan's obviously more well known for his submission skills, but Danny Henry, he also lost his last fight by decision to Danny Oig. Danny Oig then went on to beat Edson Barboza, so no messing there. I think this one's going to more play out on the ground. If I had to pick who I thought was going to win, I think Makwan's slightly better on the ground, so I'm going to go for him. But Danny Henry does have a win over one of Makwan's teammates, Akwan Dawodu. So it could be a bit of bad blood going into this. We'll see at the face-off.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Henry. I just think he's a solid fighter. I think he fought. If you look at the last couple of people he fought, they've been very well-rounded fighters. He's doing well against all of them, and I just think if he goes in there with the right game plan, and maybe doesn't let the fight go to ground and kind of controls it on the feet, I think he could easily win with a nice handy decision. But look, who knows what's happening in the fight, and he could get taken down early in the first round and be put in a guillotine or a made scramble or something. So who knows? But I'm probably going to go for Henry to win by decision.
All right, I'll go with Makwan just purely because I'm biased, but towards people that I've been around and talked to.
Also, Baz, do you remember that time we were on Finland TV talking about?
That's actually true. We've been some strange places, man. Then in the welterweight division, aka the Ian Garry division, Elia Dos Santos is taking Muslim Salikov. Ian, this is your division. Do you want to take it away?
So I'll give you a funny one. I haven't actually looked into this because, I mean, when I'm looking at the welterweights in the card, they're nowhere near where I want to look at the top of the table. But from what I know of the lads and what I've seen of them, they're both solid fighters, and I just think it's going to be a dogfight. I think I didn't really have a choice on it. I didn't know enough of both lads. I didn't like when I looked at them. There wasn't so much. I mean, Ross will probably give you all the details now, but it wouldn't be one of the ones where I'd be going in there if I was betting on it. I wouldn't pick this fight.
All right, I'll tell you the fight, Ian, then you give me a pick. How does that sound?
Huh?
I'll tell you the fight, and then you give me a pick, right?
Yeah, right. Go on.
So Ezekiel Dos Santos is actually 8-1 or 7-1 in his last 8 fights. Wins over Kinchenko, Curtis Mlinder, Max Griffin, Lyman Good. So not too bad. And then Muslim Salikov is won his last 3 fights in the UFC. But the real thing here is Salikov is, I think, 16-2. I think he's got 12 finishes. And Dos Santos has 22 wins, and he's got 14 finishes. Both those finish rates are by KO. So this one's going on the feet. I like Dos Santos. He shows a few spinning back fists and stuff like that. So he's going to be my pick, the Brazilian, to get the W here. Maybe I'm picking against all the Russians. Who knows?
Well, just purely because you went for the Brazilian, I'm going for the Russian. No, when I was looking at it, I just didn't see that much. I didn't know, and it wouldn't be a fight that if I was betting on or if I was watching it, I'd pick. It'd be one that I'd just sit back and enjoy and watch the fight take place. I mean, sometimes there is fights like that. I mean, there's a couple later on in the main event that I wouldn't want to pick, but purely for the sake of it being such a big card, I'm gonna have to make a choice. But if I was in this position, I wouldn't pick a winner for this fight. I'd just sit back and enjoy and watch the scrambles and watch the fight take place.
Yeah, I'll just purely because I know and I've seen Dos Santos fight before. I'm going to pick that, but I'll piggyback on what Ian said. I wouldn't be betting my last €5 on it.
Exactly.
Then headlining the prelims is Volkan Ozdemir against Yuri Prochazka. Oh, I'm terrible at this name. Ross, what you make of this in the light heavyweight division?
As far as I'm aware, this is a promotional debut for, we'll call him Yuri. But I did look into him, and in his last 2 fights, he's knocked out CB Dollaway and Fabio Maldonado in the first round. Now, Fabio Maldonado has a head like a brick. He's a very hard man to knock out. Sure, he brought Fedor the whole 3 rounds. So that sort of tells you where this guy's at. Volkan sort of can beat anyone who's not in the top 5. That's the way it seems to be. His losses, I think, are to like Daniel Cormier, Anthony Smith, I think maybe Gustafsson as well. So it seems to be when the pressure's on Volkan, he doesn't actually quite do it. He beat Rekic in his last fight, who knocked out Jimmy Manuwan. I was very high on Rekic, and then Volkan got the job done there. But look, this Czech Republican fella has 26 wins, 23 by knockout. I'm not going against someone with that record. And Volkan likes to bang, so I think this one's going to play out on the feet. Also, the Czech Republican fella's 6'4", and Volkan's only 6 foot, so there should be a good reach advantage there as well.
So you're going with Yuri?
This guy could be a contender. I'm going for the Czech Republican. I want to see someone new.
Yeah, no, so here's my problem with this fight, and it's not a bad thing. It's just when I'm making the choice of who's going to win. We've seen Volkan Ozdemir in the UFC for a number of fights, and we've seen him perform very well. We've seen him lose. It's not a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? Losses happen in careers. They make fighters. They break fighters. It happens. I'm not getting into this conversation, and we're not delving into it before I start on it. But Rizin is not the UFC. The fighters in Rizin are not the fighters of the caliber in the UFC. So purely on that note, as much as I would like to see this new fella come in and be a top class contender, I want to see that. I'm going to say with the safe bet, I'm going to go Ozdemir purely because he's shown how good he is. He's shown he's kind of a gatekeeper to the top 5, and you beat him, you can get one of the top contenders. And I think that, I just think it'd be very difficult for someone to come in and compete with that top flight competition in that division. But if you look, come here, light heavyweight, one smack ends it all. Do you know what I mean? They're all so big and they hit so hard that anyone can knock anyone out. And as you said, this fella's got a rake and knockout. So purely just for the sake of, I've seen him perform so well. I've seen him in the cage. I've seen him do well against all these top level opponents. I'm going to go for Volkan and to upset kind of the debut.
I'll be interested to see what way the betting lines go in this fight as well. Whether this new guy with all the knockouts would be the favourite versus Volkan. Also, I think I said Volkan fought Gustafsson, but actually meant Dominic Reyes. He lost a split decision there, but most people actually thought Volkan won.
And that's exactly what I mean. Like you're looking at the competition he's fought already. I mean, he's fought such good opponents that this guy, obviously, he's a threat. But I'm just going with the safe bet on Volkan. But I'm just going to say this: if anyone wants to bet on this fight, Basmo's bet is definitely going to get the bang for your buck if you win. If you win for Basmo, or for Ross's bet, sorry.
Yeah, Basmo. Yeah, give us a pick there.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Ian. Like, I haven't seen Yuri.
Traitor.
And then I've seen Volkan, so it's like, but like obviously that one either. Like, I'm not gonna put my last €5 on it either. I think realistically,
this is like betting. Like if River Plate came over from Argentina and played, I don't know, Arsenal, you'd be like, who do you think's gonna win? It's like, oh well, I know they play good football in Argentina.
No, that's that's not right. Do you know what it's like? That's like saying, right, is if Messi came over to the Premier League, where it's a bit more aggressive and there's a lot more top level teams in the Premier League, is he gonna be as good as he was with Barca in the La Liga? Because there's a lot of good teams. You've got the Madrids, you've got Atletico, you've got Barca. You know what I mean? You've got all these good clubs, but then you've got a lot of clubs that aren't up to that level. Whereas when you go to the Premier League, all the clubs like in the top half of the well, basically everyone is kind of solid and they're good, but like you've got a lot more top level teams in the Premier League than you would. So would Messi perform as good over there as he could?
Sorry, yeah, forehead.
Yeah, so basically there's more like if Messi was to go to the Premier League, there's a lot more top level competition than there is in the Liga. Not that they're not good and they're not good fighters, we're saying, because we're comparing the Liga to Risen, but you're talking about just a different division where all the top level opponents are just a bit better, and they're a bit better. Like even their teams they come from are better run. They're like their head coaches are more knowledge. Look, this is all like hearsay, but that's my aspect on it. I think Volkan proved it in the top organization in the world against some of the best fighters on the planet. And that, I think it's just a safe bet to bet on him and upset this guy. But this guy comes in and beats him, which he very well can do. Go straight to the top of the division.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No,
okay.
fair. Really fair.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. I also think Messi wouldn't do as well in the Premier League now either, but also he's 33 now as well, so it doesn't really.
Big Virgil has him in his back pocket.
So lads, we're on to the main card, UFC 251. I'm fucking excited. I'm sure you two lads are as well, and whoever's watching right now, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and let us know who you think is going to win this weekend, because it's all going down right now. It is being headlined by Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. If you haven't seen by the thumbnail, or if you haven't watched the whole entire video, but lads, kicking off the card is Amanda Ribas taking on Paige Van Zandt. Ross, our mate Paige Van Zandt is this their last fight in their contract? What do you expect from this fight, Ross?
Yeah, I think Paige is 1 foot out the cage, and Amanda Ribas is looking to make her big name off poor little Paige. I really like Ribas in this fight. In fairness, she fought recently enough. She fought in March. She fought in that Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira card, and she won there. Her only loss, I think, was to Polyana Viana, I think, and she was only 21 at the time, so she was a lot younger in her career. I like her to get the job done against Paige Van Zandt here. Big fan of Paige, lovely person, friend of ours, but I don't think she's going to get the job done on this occasion.
Ian?
I disagree. I think Paige Van Zandt has a lot to make off this fight. She's openly come out and talked about wanting to explore the kind of free market and see what the free agent market, and she wants to see what other companies think she's worth and stuff like that. So I think if she finishes on a loss, it's not going to look good for us. And I know she's dropped all her sponsors for this fight. I know she's solely just concentrated on getting the job done. And I think that says a lot. And if I was in her position, I think Paige has a lot more to gain from this fight with a win than her opponent does. So I'm going to go out there, and she's extremely tough. Like, I think I'm gonna say Paige is gonna win, and I think it's just purely because of going forward in the rest of her life. This is such a big fight for her, because it could be the moneymaker. This fight could give her the money she wants now and the contract going forward for another 8 fight contract, whatever she gets. So I think if she loses a lot of her bargaining power. So
yeah, to be honest, lads, I think she's 1 foot out the door. Just looking at previous interviews, this, that, and the other. Obviously, Austin, like our mate Ross, he fights in Bellator. I think that's where Paige is going to go next. I don't like. I know she obviously loves fighting, but I think she loves what she does outside the cage more, and the opportunity she gets. I think Dana is hoping Ribas will win this, and I think Ribas will win it as well. But like, obviously, I want Paige to win. Yeah, so I think that Dana wants Ribas to win, but I think Rivas will win, but I want Paige to win.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all want Paige to win.
Yeah. Also, she is so good looking in real life as well. You're actually sort of like, you're actually like, what is going like? Oh, she's gorgeous. And then like Austin as well. He's like such a nice guy as well. They're such a like that couple is just it's almost like Sage and North. They're related to Sage and Northcutt or something. They're that nice. So yeah, shout out Paige as well. I think if Austin had been allowed into the UFC after winning on the Contender Series, Paige would be more committed to the UFC as well.
I don't think that has anything to do with it, to be perfectly honest. If you're a nurse and your husband's a doctor, does that mean you're both going to want to work in the same hospital? You work where your job takes you, and that's it. And you work where a lot of people, depending on where their career is, they look for opportunity or they look for money. It depends on what stage in your career you're in. I don't think she's in the stage where she needs money. I think she deserves more because of the power she has behind her and the following she has behind her. But she's more. I don't think Bellator are going to give her as much as publicity as the UFC will.
I know. I agree with that. It was just with like obviously she's married to Austin Vanderford and he won in the Contender Series, and we were like, right, this is his opportunity, perfect thing. Like he's married, he was engaged, I think, then to Paige.
Engaged to her at the time, yeah.
And it was like, right, this makes perfect sense. They're always looking for some sort of gimmick, like Greg Hardy or Dan Hardy, Greg Hardy, and then he just totally didn't even give him a second look. It was very, very strange carry on. So I think that could have been what broke the camel's back as well.
Yeah, it could have been, but look, I don't think I think Paige is too smart to let something like that come in a way of her career. I think, like, when you look at it, she like, I know she's annoyed because I seen an interview where she was saying she's still on the same contract for like the last 4 or 5 years, whatever, because she's been injured and hasn't fought. But that's life. I think this is why I'm saying she has a big fight now ahead of her. She was out Wednesday. She has all the chips on her side of the table. So that's why I want her to win. I think she deserves the money. I think she is. And come here, everyone knows who Paige is.
Yeah. And this is what this is just to back up what you said earlier, the way Mike Perry, the way what he's after going and doing, and then you said Volkanovski writing the kids' book. Look what Paige Van Zandt, any fight week, she's always there dancing, like bringing smiles to people's faces. I mean, this is sort of someone you should be backing more than, and you can tell it's real. It's not fake. Like,
it's not fake.
Yeah.
No, she's just a good person. She's just like good vibes.
Yeah, she is good
exactly,
vibes. Yeah. Okay, lads. Then we'll move on to the next fight. Jessica Andrade is taking on Rose Namajunas. This, you could say, this is a number one contender spot, but these two have previously fought for the title, and Jessica Andrade beat Rose Namajunas for the title last time. Ross, we went first with Ian last time. You should go first in this one.
This is a number one contenders fight. The winner of this is going to fight Wei Li Zhang in a title fight for the women's strawweight title. Rose Namajunas is one of the best female mixed martial artists in the world. Her performances back-to-back against Joanna were absolutely spectacular. And her first round against Jessica Andrade was absolutely brilliant as well. She just unfortunately caught it in that slam. It was a bizarre thing to happen, and very few people have won via slam. I mean, I think the only one that I can really think of is
Charlie Morgan.
Yeah, that actually as well. But that was more of a throw, I would say, than a slam.
Was that not a bit of a trip?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd still count them as the same thing.
Well, I suppose a grappling KO. Rampage did it against Ricardo Rona, and then I think Gray Maynard did one. I think it was a big takedown slam, but he also knocked himself out, I think, at the same time. So
that makes it doubly as good.
Yeah.
So basically, the moral of the story is don't be a mong and let someone lift you up. Is defend them, and don't let someone who isn't full of technique grab a hold of you because they don't know what they're doing. So basically,
exactly.
Yeah.
But Jessica Andrade is a bull in a china shop, basically. You know what I mean? She's short, she's stocky, she's powerful. She's a bit of a nightmare to face for anyone. She's almost like the Yoel Romero of women, as in, like, you don't actually want to fight her. You know what I mean? As in, like, she's a scary opponent for anyone to get in there and have to fight.
Do you remember Mero of the strawweight division?
I think it's just your internet, Bazza.
Yeah, I think it is.
We're back.
Ross, you're good.
I do think the blueprint is there to beat Jessica Andrade, and I think Rose had it in the first fight. She just has to make sure she doesn't get caught. So I'm going to go Rose Namajunas via decision.
Yeah, I agree with your choice. I'm going to go Rose as well, and I think the reason is I think Rose is just a better all-round fighter. I think her grappling ability is better, and she is definitely the better striker. She's faster. Her reactions are better. I think she's technically the smarter fighter, as opposed to Andrade just kind of leaning forward, left hook, just swinging.
Also, being married to Pat Barry is like being married to your striking coach. You know what I mean? Like, so lockdown didn't affect her as badly.
She's got Trevor Whitman in her corner as well, like who's a
genius.
As we're seeing, is becoming one of the top coaches in the world, very fast with some of the fighters he's producing. But I just think Rose was going to win that first fight up until the point of that bizarre KO, which like, come on, no one would have guessed that. So I think that she's gonna. And when you look at the two performances she has against Joanna, and then she went out in that first round against Jessica, and she put on a great performance, and then just bit of luck went against her, and she lost. But I think she's going to come out now with a vengeance and show the world that she deserves the title shot, and she deserves to get that title back. And I think it could be. I think it could be a late stoppage or a unanimous decision for Rose.
All right, I'm going to go with Rose by decision because I want to see her take on Weili Zhang next, because we've already seen Andrade against Weili Zhang. Just sucker for a story, lads, you know?
Well, in fairness, that only lasted 40 seconds, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you had to see it again.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I do think Rose will win just purely on her actual technical ability. I think she's an all-round better fighter, and then the matchup against Zhang suits that better. And I actually think she could go in there and beat Zhang. I'm not saying she will, but she definitely could. So it's a nice thing to look forward to.
Exactly. All right, lads, we're going to move into the title fights there. The first one tonight is for the vacant bantamweight title. Peter Yan is taking on Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo is coming off a loss as well in this fight. Some people say he beat Marlon Ross, but Ross, you started the last one, didn't you? So, Ian, do you want to kick off this bantamweight, the vacant bantamweight title fight between Peter Yan and Jose Aldo?
Right. So I'm in two minds about this, boy, and I'm again what I was saying earlier on with the Santos fight. I don't want to make a decision here, but I have to. So for me, I'm gonna go with Jose Aldo.
Okay.
Which is good. Which is a bit of shock even to me, because I think Peter Yan should be fighting, or Petr Yan is amazing, and I think he is up there as the number one contender. Him and Aljamain, I think, should be fighting for this belt. But I don't. After seeing Aldo do his first cut down to bantamweight against Moraes, and he fought a great fight. And look, the judges didn't give it his way, and there's a bit of controversy now of him fighting for the title. I think Moraes is so much more dangerous than Yan. I think he's way more well-rounded, and he poses more threats. Yan, Yan's gonna walk you down. He's gonna try and break you. He's gonna start off slow. He's gonna come in at you, read you a bit, throw a couple of shots, get your reads, and then in the second round and third round he's gonna come hard at you. And then the thing about this is he's got a 4 and a 5 in case it needs to go that long. And I don't know. I just think if Jose Aldo goes out there with the right game plan and goes at him and doesn't let him dictate the pace, and Jose Aldo kind of stays on the outside, picks him apart, I think we could be seeing a nice knee finish here or something. He might just crack him with a knee on the way in when he tries to walk him down and throw a shot. So And again, this is me getting caught up in a story. I'd love to see Jose Aldo hold the belt again and retire after that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Aldo and just kind of with the fairy tale. I hope he wins.
Okay, Ross, Ian's going for Aldo.
Ian, I don't mean to be jumping on your bandwagon, but I actually am also picking Aldo for this one, and it's for a slightly different reason. I feel Piotr Jan has been getting all these massive plaudits, but like his best 3 wins are against John Dodson, Jimmy Rivera, and Uriah Faber. You know what I mean? He hasn't fought a top 5 mate. And I must say, like, I think Aljamain Sterling, after beating Corey Sandhagen, is actually the uncrowned UFC bantamweight champion.
It kind of reminds me of another guy who hasn't fought the best competition, but is still fighting for a title.
No, doesn't really. But also, like, Marlon Moraes and Aljamain Sterling, I think both are probably fairly pissed off that they weren't involved in this title fight. Both have a very big claim to do it, especially because in Moraes, a win's a win, as you say, Ian. He beat Aldo. So, look, I think Aldo has everything to do it on the feet. I think his leg kicks are absolutely vicious. And again, he's been to the 4th and 5th round on numerous occasions in his career. And he's fought fighters on Piotr Jan's level or better. And I think it'll be absolutely insane to see Jose Aldo, UFC bantamweight champion.
I'd love to see it, yeah. I do. Everything you said there makes sense. And I agree with what you're saying. I don't think Jan has fought the competition anyway. Well, it's not even close when you look at who Aldo has fought. But I just think experience is going to play a lot now in this title fight, and this is Jan's first time going 5 rounds. And can he keep that pressure? Can he pick apart Jose Aldo, who's one of the best fighters to ever grace the UFC? And look, as I've said, I don't really mind who wins this fight. I think both lads have the potential to win this fight, and if they execute their game plans well, and they play smart. But for me, I just would like to see Jose Aldo get that strap and kind of finish his career on a high, because I think he deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's for some reason I think Peter Jan's winning this.
And see, that's a fair argument. Like, this is the thing. Like, I think him and Aljamain are up the top, and for you to say that is, like, I mean,
just the way he goes in, he shows the way he hits people. They actually like bounce back. Like, and then we've obviously seen Jose Aldo get knocked out by Conor McGregor. I was just like, I think this is going to come in. He's going to smash Aldo. Like, I can't see it going beyond the 3rd round, just from what I'm after seeing recently. But I do like the story of Aldo becoming the champion in both divisions, and I do think he beat Marlon Moraes. But just something about.
And you know what? He might bring the King of Cringe back. You know that?
No, I think Volkanovski will do that.
Yeah. We'll obviously get into that, right? I'm gonna go Peter Yan, right? But he's just there's something about him, the mystique,
and that's
spoil.
fair enough. I just think I'm buying into the experience and the fairy tale of and the storyline of wanting Jose Aldo to come back and win it, just purely to top off his career with a good finish.
Well, that's why we're all here, and that's why people are tuning in, to just because obviously, I mean, everyone likes writing the stories. But we'll get into the co-main event. It is the champion on the featherweight division, Alexander Volkanovski, taking on Max Holloway. This is a rematch. Previously, obviously, Alexander Volkanovski won by decision. This one should be taken away by Ross.
Max Holloway, our very good friend. Max, this one actually breaks my heart a bit, really, because I really do think Volkanovski is Holloway's kryptonite. I think his sort of low, stocky build and his strength, he's very, very strong in there, is really what puts him as a favourite against Holloway. Holloway is death by 1,000 cuts, to be honest.
Ross, sorry, can you believe Volkanovski actually previously weighed 100 pounds heavier? And do you think that
I know it's mad.
That helps him?
It's mad to think he was playing NRL in rugby league over in Australia, or Aussie Reels, one of the two, I can't remember much. But it definitely does. He was definitely sort of, in the training ground with bigger, stronger guys. And it really shows when like he gets people up against the cage and he holds them there. He's very hard to get them off you. He's beaten Holloway. He's beaten Aldo. I think he is the best featherweight in the world at the moment. And look, I would love nothing more than Max Holloway to come back here and reclaim his crown. I just don't see it happen.
I'm in the exact same boat as you. Lads, again, I think it's going to be a 5-round war. I think it's going to be another decision. As much as it pains me to say it, I do think Volkanovski is going to get the win. I think his style is like you say, it is like a kryptonite to Holloway. However, when I watched that fight for the first time, when I was sitting there watching it, after it was very close, I said to myself, Holloway wins the rematch. But obviously the coronavirus, I don't know if he said he's done a load of Zoom calls. I don't know. I don't really care what way he's trained. But I don't know how much he's improved. And Eugene Berman said it well, or Behrman said it. Holloway is going to have to change his whole fundamentals to beat Volkanovski. And that takes years to do, whereas Volkanovski just has to change up his game plan a little bit. So it's not kind of the exact same game plan, going out there, throwing the same shots, the same combos, playing it the same way. He's going to change a little bit and throw a different look at Max Holloway. And yeah, I just think basically the ball's in his court, and whatever he decides to do in this fight is going to take place, and it's going to it means Max isn't going to be able to go out there and put his pressure on. I think Max is going to sit back, and I think Volkanovski will kind of dominate the fight and take the center stage, and it'll be at his pace. He'll dictate what happens. And I think that's what Max doesn't need. I think Max needs to go in there and put it to him. I don't think Volkanovski's going to knock him out. Max is one of the best chins in MMA. I mean, that fight with Dustin Poirier, for example, like, it's going to be 5 rounds. It's not going to be a one-sided fight, I don't think. I think it's going to be very, very close again. But I'd love Max to win. I absolutely love him, but I think Volkanovski is going to get the job done.
Yeah, I think Max is going to have to drag that into very deep water to get the job done. But maybe his best chance, I think, is like a 4th, 5th round TKO, because he's good at getting the late stoppages.
He is.
Because he doesn't give up.
And it's a cumulative damage. It's not dead. You're knocked out. Like when Conor hits you, you just see people kind of lose like their whole kind of.
It's like a Diaz style of boxing.
Yeah, it is. It's that pop pop bang and pop pop bang, and they finish with a hard shot, but it's not a world beater. It's not a destroyer. Like, it's not when Jeremy Stevens or Conor hit you and just everyone crumbles, or you see some of the like Francis Ngannou's where they just take a shot to the head. Like, do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's a very interesting fight, and as I said, I think Holloway is the biggest name on the card. I'd love to see him win. I don't know.
And Basmo.
Yeah, I'm on this boat as well. Ever since Max Holloway became Ross's best friend. You know? But after watching that fight back, it was very, very close. As Ian said, yes. I just felt like every time they got him very close, Volkanovski was just almost a little bit like smarter. Like his reach is a lot shorter, so he gets the shots off quicker. Even the elbows. I think Volkanovski's obviously he's very smart as well. As in, like, he'd be talking to him during the fight, but also being nice after every round. You know what I mean? Like, what's that saying, Ross? When like you're a friend, like,
kill them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness. That's correct. But you could also look at it another way. Holloway's won so many fights in a row that in the featherweight division, obviously, that maybe he could have been complacent because we never really gave Volkanovski a shot in a build to that previous fight. That's the thing. You can look at it both ways. But
that's why it's so interesting.
That's why it is so interesting. But then also, if you look at since the last fight, Volkanovski said he wanted to fight Holloway. Holloway didn't ask for this fight. Also, Holloway hasn't really been training with people either. I just can't see Volkanovski not winning this. But like, obviously, I'd rather Holloway won. But Volkanovski, and then maybe if he get like him versus Henry Cejudo would be funny because they're both sort of the same height. Because Volkanovski is obviously very small. Max Holloway's actually nearly 6 foot.
So, side question for you lads on this, right? Just say Max Holloway and Jose Aldo both win this weekend. How much better will that make Conor McGregor look, knowing that he's beaten both those guys?
Lads, All right, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it. I say it once, and there's gonna be no argument about this. Anytime someone who fights Conor McGregor, like you look at Aldo, you look at Khabib, you look at anyone, there, well, bar him, all their stocks go up, and no matter when they fight, more people tune in, and the better they do, the better Conor looks. And it just seems that Conor beat all the guys at the right time. He beat Max nice and early. He beat Aldo kind of towards the end of his career. He beat Alvarez kind of when he reached the top somehow. Conor's special, and it just makes him look so much better now if all these lads win. But to be honest, he is on a different level. And like we all know in that Khabib fight, as much as we like to say, oh, that was the Conor we know. It wasn't. We all know Conor didn't put the camp. He should have. We all know that. And come here, look, there's nothing wrong with that. It's his life decision. If he can sit there and be happy with the camp he put in for that fight, then that's up to him. But we know that Conor for the Khabib fight didn't put the same effort in as Conor did for the Aldo one fight where he ended up fighting Mendes, or the Aldo fight that actually happened then. He wants to make millions. He wants to be the biggest star out there. I think he beats Khabib. I mean, but look, it's a completely different argument. But Conor's a different level, and if both of them win, oh God, love Twitter.
Okay, lads, we're going to get into the main event, right? As we talked about earlier, it was originally meant to be Gilbert Burns versus Kamaru Usman for the title. Jorge Masvidal after stepping in basically roughly on a week's notice against Kamaru Usman. I think an interesting way to start this off is, Ian, this is obviously you fighting this division. What way would you fight Kamaru Usman compared to what way would you fight Jorge Masvidal? And then we'll get into the actual fight head-to-head.
Right, so this fight's actually, I think this is going to be a great fight. So I'll explain it this way, right? I think Usman is going to win this fight, right? And a couple of reasons. I think Usman is going to win the fight because he's on a tear. He's beaten anyone. He's beaten everyone he's come up against. He's dominated them all. When you look at the way he beat Tyron Woodley, then he goes out and he matches the pace of Colby Covington, and they both just go at it. Now, fair enough, they're not the best strikers in the divisions, but they're also two of the best wrestlers in the UFC. So there's no need to get involved with another high caliber wrestler for no reason when they feel like they both have an advantage on the feet. So I think Usman is going to win this fight. I think he's got the cardio to last 5 rounds flat out, more or less. I think his cardio is endless. When we look at Masvidal was tiring a little bit, not much, but a little bit against Diaz, and Diaz is like a punching bag. So Usman is going to go for the takedown. He's going to threaten the takedown. He's going to be in your face. He's going to put a pace on you, and you're not going to like it. And the funny thing about this is, I don't think Jorge gives a shit about that. I think Jorge is going to stand there and go, right, if you want to have a scrap, do you remember those videos of me out people's back gardens? I don't care what type of way you want to fight. I'm just here to fight. So if I was fighting Usman, I'd bring the fight to him. I wouldn't sit back and let him push the pace. I wouldn't sit back and let him dictate how the fight goes, whether it's striking, whether it's wrestling. I'm in his face and I'm putting my fist through his nose, and I want to see tears roll down his eyes. I want to hurt him. I want to make sure that he doesn't want to come forward. I want to make him take the back step. I want to stand there. I want to jab the mouth off him so that every time he comes forward, he gets hurt. And I think that if that's how Masvidal is going to attack it, it's a great strategy, because if he's not coming forward, he can't take you down. You don't shoot for a takedown moving backwards unless you're desperate. So to eliminate a whole aspect of his game, I think Masvidal should walk him down. However, I don't think Masvidal is going to get a choice to do that, because I think Masvidal is going to end up being on the opposite end of what I've just said. I think Usman is going to do that to Masvidal. I think he knows that Masvidal has to get in close and in that boxing range to kind of win the fight and stay there for 25 minutes. So I think Usman's going to go, right, my best way to win this fight is touch him up, make him think, grab a hold of him, get him up against the cage, make it a dogfight. Don't make it easy for him. Put a pace on him, because I can guarantee now, even if they both had a full camp, I can guarantee Usman lasts longer than Masvidal 9 times out of 10. So that's the way I'm looking at it. If he goes in there and sets a pace and sets a pace for the first 3 rounds, goes at Masvidal and has Masvidal panting and breathing and has him in positions where he can't get his oxygen in, on the ground, hitting him a couple of shots, going up against Kate. Masvidal is kind of moving, trying to scramble, can't breathe properly. That's how I would go at it. Huh?
You think Usman's going to Khabib him?
I'm not fully Khabib him. I think he needs to do that though to tire him. I think Khabib doesn't have the best gas tank. We see Khabib tiring fights. Usman doesn't. Usman keeps a solid pace. He can keep going. So I think if he flows between striking and grappling and just controlling the fight, I think that's how he wins it. And I think if he gets complacent and he overlooks kind of, I'm better than you, I'm going to show people this, and I'm going to beat you on the feet, I'm going to knock you out. No, just go in there and do what you do best. Grab a hold of him, make it a dogfight, make it rough. Don't make it pretty, and try and make him breathe out his arse. That's what I'd be doing if I was against Masvidal. That's I don't want to give him any space. I want to be in his face, and I want to eliminate any threat of all those big swings that he throws with the big right hands. I want to be close enough to touching that. If I ever feel worried, I can grab a hold and change it the whole game. So that's how I would do. I would beat both people if I was going up against them, and it's going to be interesting to see. But I think I'm fairly confident Usman, with the path he's just come from, the people he's beat, the way he's beat them, I don't see him losing to Jorge Masvidal.
Okay, Ross, what do you see happening this Saturday, and also how? Okay, Ross. So Ian obviously thinks Kamaru Usman's going to win. Ross, who do you think wins this weekend? But also, how does Usman get any fans out of this fight?
Right, so the deck is absolutely stacked against Jorge Masvidal, coming in on 6 days' notice to fight one of the most dominant welterweights in the history of the UFC in Kamaru Usman. Look, Usman's going to try and use his wrestling. He's already said he's going to ragdoll him. He makes no secret about what he's going to do. It's whether Masvidal can stop or not. I have to agree with you. Masvidal's best way is to fight this fight is probably, keep him at the end of his shots with a nice long jab. He's definitely the better boxer of the two, so it is a possibility that he can get it done that way. And he also, he might try what's called throw that flying knee that he threw against Ben Askren. Maybe not an exact one, but remember the knee that Romero threw against Chris Weidman when he's coming in on the shots. They'll have to be clean shots, to be honest, to get the. Look, I really fancy Kamaru Usman to get the job done here, but I would not be shocked to see Jorge Masvidal walk out with the belt. He seems to be very high on confidence, and I don't know. I don't think Masvidal ever gets tired to the extent where it takes too much effect on skill set. I think he keeps his technique well. He does have decent jiu-jitsu on the ground also. Probably won't be good enough to, nullify Kamaru's wrestling, but enough to throw a bit of a threat and to, keep Kamaru Usman active on the ground. So if I had to guess, I'd say Usman by decision. But I think if Masvidal wants to get this job done and wants that new shiny gold belt, he's going to have to go out there and try and get it done in the first round or two, I think, with a big, heavy shot. In terms of Kamaru Usman's fan base, Basmo, how he's going to get more fans, I think he needs to go out there, be dominant against Masvidal, show he's a far superior mixed martial artist, and then he needs to almost get on the mic afterwards and go, right, I beat that bum, I want to fight the division's best. And then he needs to call out either Gilbert Burns or Leon Edwards, and he needs to call a shot. He needs to say someone's name, because people don't care. This whole, whoever the UFC wants me to fight next, no one gives a shit about that. Pick a fight with someone, say their name, and get people interested in a Kamaru Usman fight. I was actually going to ask you guys, who is the worst draw, Volkanovski or Usman? Because they're two of like the least drawing fighters, I think, or drawing champions in the UFC at the moment.
Volkanovski.
He draws
A
less.
lot more people would know who Usman is because they've seen him fight the likes of Tyron Woodley and they've seen him fight Colby Covington. So I would imagine just purely off those two, and that Covington fight was a big fight and all. So I would imagine.
You know what? I actually think Volkanovski's unlucky that Israel Adesanya exists, because otherwise he'd have the whole of Australia and New Zealand backing him. But they're all just like, we watch Adesanya instead.
And he's the biggest star in the UFC at the moment. I mean, he is the guy. He's the new Conor. Like he's the new shy talker. He's the new guy on the block at the moment. But yeah, no, I agree. Everything you said there makes sense. I think. To go at it from the opposite side of the story, though, it'd be some story if Masvidal wins.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
The resurrection will be well and truly here. Like if he does that, so I could also see
Masvidal going to the body in this. You know that.
That chap looks like he's like built from granite. Like he was literally carved by the gods. Hit him to the body.
Yeah, the right liver shot take down any man.
Yeah, I agree. Look, it's a great fight, and I think everything is, as you said, stacked against Masvidal. But I just think that's purely because Usman has done everything to earn the respect of being where he is today and earn that kind of pedestal he's on by beating everyone and by beating them what he does and doing what he does best and just going out there and suffocating people and making them win.
Yeah. Question for you. Masvidal said he has about 20 odd pounds to cut. Obviously, he's got a massive mop of hair and a big beard at the moment. Do you reckon he's going to have to get that trimmed, just maybe get half a pound off?
No, I think Masvidal is going to be all right making weight because he's previously made lightweight. So, like, welterweight shouldn't be as tough for him. Now, if it was a lightweight, it'd be a different story. I don't think he would have accepted the fight.
Usman ain't making lightweight, you might think.
No, Masvidal.
No, Masvidal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, but like if it was for the lightweight title, but
he ain't beating Khabib either. I can tell you that for a fact.
I know.
No, he ain't taking that.
I know, but lads, being fight fans, right? I'd love nothing more to see Masvidal win this fight. Just the story in itself, just coming in a short notice, just everything about it, and then like obviously everyone wants to see then Masvidal take on Conor for the welterweight title. That would just be like the internet would blow up, lads, because Masvidal wins in style.
I agree with you. And do you know what the funny thing is? That will happen if Masvidal wins.
Yeah, I know, but that's
it will.
You know what, Ian? I actually think the blueprint is Masvidal beats Usman, Gaethje beats Khabib, Conor beats Gaethje, Masvidal beats Covington, and then they fight for all the belts.
And then Nate Diaz goes, "I whooped your ass, I'll fight you again," and he comes in and he.
Yeah, then McGregor's walking around with the BMF belt and the two belts on either waist, and then he has like Dylan Dennis there to hold the old featherweight belt, and then your mate Dylan Dennis, and then what's it called? He calls Nate Diaz out for the trilogy.
Clear, that'd be a great way to finish his career then. But yeah, I look, as you said, that's a great story. I'd love to see it happen for the sense of what could potentially happen in the future, but I just don't.
Yeah, no, I wrote down I have Usman to win, but like I want Masvidal to win.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing about fighting. Like we were saying with Paige earlier on, we want Paige to win, but we don't know if she will. We want Holloway to win, but we don't think he will. Sometimes who you want to win is just purely because of the person they are and stuff, and you kind of take that into consideration. That's why it's hard. Sometimes you have to put that aside and think about it. But like I just don't. On a martial artist point of view, I don't see Usman losing this fight.
Yeah, just let me just wrap this up. Sorry, Ross. Yeah. If Usman wins, who's he fight? If Masvidal wins, who's he fight? And then I'll ask you next. I know we sort of covered the Masvidal one, but just so we wrap it up.
I think if Usman wins, he fights Leon Edwards next. I think Burns is going to get put on that back burner, sadly. And I think if Masvidal wins, I think he'll end up fighting Colby Covington next.
I think it's probably going to be, if Usman wins, it's probably going to be the Kobe rematch. I think if Masvidal wins, I would like to imagine Leon Edwards would get out and say he wants the shot. He wants the shot. We've had bad blood. There's a storyline there behind it. But I would imagine they might give Usman a rematch. I have no idea, but I would like to see Leon Edwards versus Masvidal if Masvidal gets the win.
I think that if Usman wins by a split decision, I think they'll run it back and give Masvidal a full camp because the ratings are going to be huge. But if Usman dominates, maybe they do Leon Edwards part 2. And then if Masvidal wins, the Conor McGregor Masvidal would just that'd be amazing for all of us because obviously we'll be doing a show in the build-up.
That's another Diaz.
Yeah, and then the winner, if Conor beats Masvidal, becomes the champ of the welterweight division. He gets GSP retirement, and then you know what I mean. But we're running away with the fairies as always, lads. But here, lads, is there anything else to say in the show? Because I really enjoyed it. This is great having Ian on for the pay-per-view events because we all get the vent.
Lads, just one last question. I think all 3 fights look like they might end up as a decision, the title fights. Which fight do you think is most likely to be finished?
I'll Jan. Jan to win. KO.
Usman.
I'm going to say Masvidal to get the finish.
Oh yeah. Also, sorry. Fight of the night, lads. What's going to be the fight of the night?
Oh, I think Aldo. Yeah.
Masvidal and Usman. I think it's going to be like when I mean he comes out, I mean he's going to come out swinging.
Actually, hold on. Scrap my pick. I'm picking Holloway versus Volkanovski. Max Holloway's always nearly in fight of the night anyway.
Sorry, I'm not even thinking about that. Yeah, that's going to be the fight of the night. That's going to be a 5-round war of them two punching them out of each other. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for Jan Aldo. There's something about Peter Jan that I'm just obsessed with, lad. I think it's
so good.
I think
it's the same beard, man.
It could be the Russian heritage as well. But lads, here, look, this is absolutely brilliant. Apologies for people who've watched the whole way through and the internet sort of went a couple of times, but I mean that's what we have to do here, you know, COVID times. But Ian, let us know where we can find you. Obviously, I'm going to put your video at the very, very end for people to check out your whole story. But let us know where we can find you or people can find you. Also, do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I've thought about it, and it's something I'm looking into, and I will end up doing. But
Masvidal has one. He's a superstar.
Yeah, you're not a superstar until you're a superstar. So, did you see my tweet a couple of weeks ago?
No, I didn't see that one.
I said, nobody's a champion until they're a champion. No one's a star until they're a star. Give me a bit of time.
Okay. Yeah, the future is bright for this young fella.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, check out Ian Garry on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram because you didn't mention that. Ross.
Because I'm so good looking.
Yeah, he's going to be in the UFC, so that's something to follow. Ross, what about yourself?
Yeah. You can follow us on the Energized Show basically everywhere. But if you are watching this video and you did enjoy it, and especially if you think Ian's handsome and the future next Irish UFC champion, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and as always,
stay energized.
Stay energized.